My 5-year-old son came to me with wet eyes and a shaking lip. My sister was laughing at his stutter. My mom just let it happen. I took my son by the hand, walked into the living room, and ended their little comedy show. We were at my parents' house for dinner because my mom guilted me into it. She always had a script about family and tough kids. I usually caved because I was tired of the calls. That night, my son finally showed me the price of keeping the peace. This wasn't new. My sister had been mocking his speech for months. She'd mimic him, then hide behind a smile. My mom would sigh and say I was too sensitive. The best part? I have a stutter too. They knew exactly what they were teaching him. Even home isn't safe. Meanwhile, I was the one paying their mortgage after my dad blew his savings. I was also funding my sister's school. They loved my softness when it paid bills. My son whispered, "They copied me." He held his toy fox like it could protect him. I didn't ask for details. I didn't need them. I pushed my chair back, slow and deliberate. Then I took his small hand and squeezed once. Next, I walked into the living room. No words yet. My sister kept grinning, waiting for applause. I stared at her, and my voice stayed calm. "This is the last time you'll see my son." Then I faced my mom. "Next month, you cover the mortgage." Finally, I told my sister, "I'm done paying for school." No screaming, no speeches. I grabbed our coats and left. At home, I made warm milk and tucked my son in. He said, "I didn't want to go back there." I said, "You won't." And that was a promise, not a comfort line. After he fell asleep, I did the practical part. I stopped the automatic mortgage payment. I sent my sister one last transfer to finish the month. Then I blocked every number tied to that house. My phone lit up anyway. All caps. All rage. My mom, "You're irrational. It was a joke." My sister, "So, I lose school because your kid can't take a joke?" I didn't reply. I screenshot everything and saved it in a folder called Proof because I was done being gaslit. My dad finally left a voicemail. 4 words. "You owe us everything." That was it. No apology. No, "How's he doing?" Just entitlement. Then came the smear campaign. A dramatic family email. Random relatives texting me to be the bigger person. Still, nobody asked about my son. The bank did. Late notice. My name was still on the co-signed mortgage. I'd stopped paying, but I was still legally attached, so I spent weeks on paperwork and calls until my name was off it. When it was done, I sent my mom one line: "You're on your own now." 3 days later, my sister showed up at my job like this was a casual chat. I had security called. While she waited, she hissed, "You ruined my life over a stutter." Security walked her out. She shouted, "You think you're better than us?" I didn't flinch, because at home, my son was already changing. He spoke a little steadier. He smiled more. His therapist told me he was progressing faster than expected. One night, after our bedtime book, he looked at me and said, "Clear as day, I love you." 3 months after I stopped paying, a foreclosure notice went up on my parents' front door. The calls turned desperate. I still didn't answer. The day they officially lost the house, my son and I were at the zoo. He fed giraffes. A goat stole his snack and he laughed so hard he snorted. We ate ice cream. His world felt quiet and safe. My sister emailed me a long apology that somehow ended with asking for money. I forwarded it into Proof and closed my laptop. That winter, my mom showed up at my door with a grocery bag and old photos like props. I watched through the peephole. My son was asleep. I turned off the porch light and walked away. She left a note that said, "Family is family." I felt nothing. My family was down the hall, breathing easy. The last message came from my dad in spring. One sentence: "We lost the house." Still no apology. Still no mention of my son. Just consequences. Finally landing where they belonged. That fall, my son started kindergarten. Backpack on, he grinned and said, "I'm gonna make friends." Then he shrugged like he'd already outgrown them. Even if someone laughs, they laughed at him. Now they had nothing, and we had peace. What would you do? Cut them off, or keep paying people who mock your kid?